The third reality really is a collection of life experiences. Everyone has a journey, and all of us pursue a journey. And in the process of pursuing a journey, sometimes we tend to look back and capture the essence of the stories that affect our lives. Let me kind of, in this first reading, set up the story. As a child at 16, and most of us, all of us were 16, and back in the day, you had a family car. And if you wanted to go out on a date, well, you'd go ask your pop for the car. But first you'd go to mom. Mom was always a buffer. And it always went this way. Mom, can I borrow the car? It's okay by me, ask your dad. Dad, mom said it was okay to borrow the car, ask your father, ask your mother, ping pong, back and forth. My dad always had a catchphrase, tiene gas y tienes dinero. Well, in one of those instances, I was trying to date this young woman, and I'm asking my wife to put her fingers on her ears, named Anita Flores. And she was a 16-year-old, and I wanted to impress her. Dad had a brand new 1957 Dodge that had push-button gears on it. They had just come out. And I wanted to borrow that car so bad. So I said, Dad, can I borrow it? And Dad, whenever he didn't like something, he would take the keys out of his pocket and throw them on the floor. He was in the garage working on some things. And it really made me angry that my pop was dealing with me that way. So I picked up the keys and I gave it to him. And I said, yo necesito su carro, papá. Mejor ando. And I walked in the house, shut the door. Mom was upset, as most moms are, with her husbands. And Mom knew that she was going to represent my interests. And so it went like this. Dad understood the message. Mom was there to defend me. He rarely argued with Mom. Over years of marriage, they had also become best friends. I've often told my wife, I've never seen two people in my life who loved each other so profoundly and had so much fun all the time. My mother and dad were married 63 years. After a few moments, Dad opened the door to my bedroom and motioned me outside. Ernesto, he said, ven, vamos para afuera. And there I went. Our backyard was mostly a giant concrete base that surrounded a large oak tree where we played basketball almost nightly. The basketball rim was exactly 10 feet 3 inches tall off the ground, the official height for high school. Basketball was there for us. And Frank Alvarez Jr., Crazy Manuel, as we used to call our cousin, John Mendoza, Salame, Phil Avalos, and I, of course, the three Nieto boys often played there. We were all there. Dad went straight through the backyard out to the alley that was littered with overgrown weeds, broken beer bottles, and an old junk car. ¿Qué miras, mijo? He asked. Pues nada, papá, I answered. ¿Qué quiere que vea? Nomás hierbas y botellas de cerveza y ese yonque. Mira, Ernesto, Dad continued. Llámale a Abraham y dile que venga acá a la casa con su troca. Abraham, my first cousin, had fought in World War II in the Pacific. After the war, he returned home and got involved in racing cars. He also opened his own car repair business. I called Abraham. After a while, he arrived and briefly visited with Dad. In less than an hour, they removed the junk car's transmission, the hood, and several other parts. Everything was put in the back of Abram's truck, and off we went to Goldstein's used car parts in the 5th Ward. Everything was sold for $150. When we got home, Dad walked over and asked me to sit down with him in our front porch. Ahora, mijo, he started, tú me pediste el carro. No solo esperabas el carro, pero también necesitabas dinero, ¿verdad? You not only wanted the car, but you also needed money, he reminded me, and I nodded. Y cuando te llevé allá al callejón, Te hice una pregunta, ¿verdad? And when I took you out into the alleyway, I asked you a question. Again, I nodded. Solamente vistes lo peor, el yonque, la basura. Al contrario, yo vi las oportunidades y te demostré con lo que hicimos. He said, all you saw was junk and bottles and things that had no value, and I saw opportunity, and I showed you what I did with that. The lesson that came from me, as Latinos move forward into this new millennium, working towards greater self-reliance and self-direction as a community may be better than working to assimilate into the American mainstream or pursuing social reform and justice. While these strategies might have worked in the past, they may not prove as useful in addressing future Latino needs. A different outlook and a new culturally unifying social vision of community needs to be crafted. This vision must also be one that allows Latinos to build from within while contributing to the American experience. So the lesson that I got from Pop was don't simply throw things away. See the value, and a lot of times when I read reports about Latinos, it's always about the dropout rates and the pregnancy rates and all of the things that occur in family violence and that we're on welfare. And it tends to shape our perspective of who and the wonder of who we are as a community of assets and as a community of value. And that was one of my first important lessons in Third Reality.